That's definitely a good point. But also, I feel like his Victory Lap, his most recent album before his death, was like, if you listen to it, you know what kind of vibe he on. You know what I mean? So it was just, that was his most critically acclaimed album up to date. So it wasn't enough time for people to really know about him while he was alive, as in a large scale. You know what I mean? Obviously, his day one fans knew, but like.
Yeah, that boy was smoking. I'm the first one to tell you, damn, son, they got Nip. Damn, I can't believe Nip is gone. But, you know, I don't overly mourn most people, you know. And I don't think I've had death come that close to my family. Or even though my uncle's gone, right? And both two of my uncles gone. Even then, it's just like they pass. I go to the funeral and I move on. You know, I think about them often. You know, sometimes I cried or whatever, but I don't do too much. I don't do too much.
You know what, Nip, too? Sorry to stay on this, but it's like, damn, what the hard part.
So you ain't hear nothing I said about my uncles or nothing. You just waiting to jump in and talk back about niggas. All right, go ahead, man.
What you said led me to my point. All right, this nigga.
Why do you feed in? Like, why don't you just be like, okay?
It's the way that Nip passed, doing what he's supposed to be doing, like in his what do you call it, like in his place of business, where he put on other people, where he was buying the block, like he was doing all the right things. So it's not like it was hard to sit there and question, like, yeah, maybe he shouldn't have did that. You know what I mean? Like with Pop Smoke, everybody's death, you mourn them. There's no one that you mourn more than the other. But with Pop Smoke, it's like, damn, man, you probably shouldn't have put your address up there. Not to say, I would not suggesting he deserved it in any way, shape, or form, but you could think back like, oh, dag, you know, there was a way he could have avoided that. You know, with Kobe, very tragic. You're like, damn, maybe they could have avoided that if they didn't take a helicopter in the fog. You know what I mean? But with Nipsey, it's like, how you supposed to avoid that? That means you can't stay in the hood and build your community.
He called homie a snitch.
But I mean, it's a dark thought to think that you can't stay in your hood and build up the community without risking that kind of violence. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's why it's such a hard death to deal with.
All right, Trav, what you got?
Wow.
My therapist.
Really?
Yeah. I wasn't the best person 3-4 years ago. And I realized that when you're an adult, you become an adult because of your age, technically. But I think now, in hindsight, you become an adult because of your experiences. And I don't believe that I was a full functioning adult before I went to therapy. I don't think that I was a full functioning adult before I had a kid. And I feel like my therapist was the person to help me navigate through adult adolescence and actually being a full-blown adult. Like, she checked me in ways that nobody else could. I was able to talk to her about things that I cannot talk to anybody else about, or I have not spoken to anybody else about. And she literally, like, just helped. I wasn't on a bad track, but she just helped validate me being full, if that makes sense, or me being complete. I realized that for me, validation means a lot to me. And I don't really get that. Like, I get it in my relationship, but then we also had a very serious conversation recently, whereas I explained to him, like, you are my most non-toxic relationship, my most complete relationship. Like, and that's because you met me after therapy. Because if you would have met me before therapy, we would not be where we are right now. I would not be the person that I am to be the person that I am to you, for you, and in this relationship. I wasn't there. And that's what I needed.
I got a question for you. Do you think that it's because of who your therapist is, or just any therapist probably would have helped you the same?
I don't know if I can say I've been to a lot of different therapists in my life in the last 15 years, and she's the one that's stuck. And I think that she stuck so much for me. One, she's a black woman. Her essence, her aura, she's so New York. Like, she be in therapy spitting Hove bars at you, like, on some shit. Like, she's fire. And she gives me auntie vibes. Like, she gives me that black, successful woman push that you are great. You are amazing, and don't second guess it. My dad can't do that for me. My grandmother couldn't do that for me. There's no other women in my life that are elders that can do that for me except for my mentor. And we have the relationship that we have. It's not as, the word I'm looking for is like frequent as my therapist. Like me and my mentor, my spiritual advisor, we link up every quarter, maybe. My therapist, that was every Friday. Light work for 2 years straight every Friday. And then now as I need her. So she helped me a lot.
Trav?
It's hard to choose one. Hopefully y'all will accept this, but it's got to be a tie for my mom and dad. When I was a kid, I probably would have said my mom because I was much closer to her. But as I've become a man, I've become closer to my pops and starting to be more like him, actually. But it's just like they provided such a foundation. I've always somebody that was like, I could just flow with the wind. I could go with the breeze. Like I could end up anywhere. You know what I mean? And that solid foundation is priceless. They didn't really have to do much to do so much. You know what I mean? Just being there, that stability, just allowed me to be creative.
So why when I say that shit, you don't know? Do you be understanding what I'm coming from, or you just don't want to point it out?
What you mean?
Like when I say that, me viewing your stability and how your shit was set up was something, I don't want to say envious, but something that another person might look at and see what they're lacking. Because you're saying they didn't have to do nothing but be there.
Right.
I didn't have that relationship with my mom.
Right.
Your parents was there for me. Like, you know what I mean? I had that there. But I knew Christmas was yours. I had to go back to me, my life. And I didn't have what you're saying did so much for you. And I'm asking you why you don't never recognize that when we talk about it. Because if you obviously know it's a true thing.
I mean, only you could recognize that for yourself and how it affected you.
You're recognizing it right now.
I could understand what you're saying, but I can't be like, yeah, Tyler, that's what you was missing. Like, that's for you to say. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But for me, I could say, like, because of my personality. There's a lot of people that are fine in single-parent households or in two-parent households where there wasn't a lot of stability. There's a lot of people that are strong-minded, strong-willed. Not to say that I'm not, but I'm also kind of go with the flow, go with the wind.
Kinda.
I could, you know what I mean? I could have went down all different types of paths, and that stability did a lot. And like even like shit like pushing neither one of my parents have any background in music or being a creative or an entrepreneur, but just that supportive backbone, buying my first turntable, getting me my first DJ gigs. You know what I mean? I was DJing for my parents for all of their parties. Like
all of their parties.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like
Facts.
that kind of shit just let me.
And didn't know nothing about it. They just come like, hey, you DJ, right? Like, come do this.
Like secretly on the hush, my pops wanted me to be like a fucking doctor, lawyer, like a professional. But he never really pushed that on me. He allowed me to be a starving artist, to fall and, you know, get back up on my own. You know what I mean? That was fire. So. And
for your point, there are several people that grew up in two-parent households that wind up in jail.
Right.
Or fucked up, or whatever, drug addicts, whatever it may be. So that is true. There's some new, I think, I got to figure out what nuance means, because I always use it when I don't have no other word. But I understand that. It just was a right mix, you and your parents and your brother. Very good mix of people. For me, I want to say it was my sons. My daughter, I love her to death. I don't know how much of who I am now. I can hear you. I can hear the clicks on the phone.
I heard it too.
These mics. That's the crazy part.
I heard it too. You saw me when I did it.
I'm like, holy shit, these mics is fire. But my sons, being that they're autistic and their autism has slowly touched a humanity in me or understanding in me of people that are different. And so when Cuddy left, I immediately, almost next episode, reached out to XD, who is an openly homosexual man, and wanted to question so I could understand some shit, right? So my influence of me being in the street, I think, or being ignorant, I think that's what I kind of was on that for so long. It made me and Cuddy bond because we would just talk about whatever, But I think what my sons did to me is make me want to. And even when talking to Cuddy back in the days, I used to be like, why do you treat men like that? Like, why can't we be better? To me, that's how I saw it. A lot of her followers was like, no, you ain't shit. You da 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 da. But I thought I was trying to help. And I think that my sons have opened up in me something that makes me want to help people. I innately want to help people all the time. Whether it's, I know you're selling a shirt. Like, there's a guy that's selling this shirt in the street the other day, and I was like, yo, let me put you on my Instagram.
Yeah, I saw that. That was cute.
Who knows what can happen? And he's like, oh my God. And he does it, and I walk away, and, you know, it's so funny that the dude that he mentioned in that video is from Atlanta, I believe, and has seen me with Hope. Or even my relationship with Hope. You know, people like, oh, yeah, you must, you know, I know you want to have sex with a trans person, this, that, and the other. No, I actually see a place where I can help. That's it. And I like doing that. And it speaks to the civil servant in me as well, right? And so I think that comes from my sons and realizing that they need understanding and empathy and love. And I think that just became a part of who I am, period. You know what I'm saying? It's something I might not have had my whole life. So, Trav.
I like this.
What do you
This
got?
is so cute. Oh, God.
Okay. Oh, my God. No teeth.
No teeth. By far.
No teeth, nigga. How you jerk off with no fingers?
How do you hold, like, fingers are so... I get some dentures first. Like, you can't get dentures for your fingers. Like, it's not the same.
I don't care if you can't. I will gum my way through life.
No teeth.
Yeah, no teeth.
I'll be able to suck dick then.
Actually would solve your whole problem.
Yo.
That actually would literally solve her whole problem. Way
Right.
to bring that shit 360. Teeth and fingers.
Yeah, no teeth.
Yeah, bro, that was too easy, Tron.
I need to scratch these records.
I will drink smoothies forever. Entrance song to my prize fight.
My entrance song.
Being that I can't fight, it'd be Ghostface Run. Downshifting like I got 10 gears on me. Yeah, man.
So my entrance for most things is I go for Return of the Mac. But for a prize fight, I need something a little more harder than that. So I don't know. I got to think of some hard shit. I don't know.
It wouldn't be Takeover? Yeah, y'all don't be giving Hov enough respect. I think that's where Dodge was going. Where are you going?
I was definitely thinking of a whole song.
Gotta be Takeover, man. It's Takeover. The break's over. Dunny. What?
God MC.
What?
Me, Jehovah.
What?
Halo Soldier. You ain't ready for war.
That's
ROC
Brooklyn
too strong for
all
y'all.
day.
It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight, pen to a test, chest in a line of fire with your thin ass vest. Nigga, what?
Come on, and the man can't win.
Ooh, I might do
Grown
Brooklyn's
man
Finest.
being nah, come on. You
Hit you both in the triage, biatch.
The reach ain't long enough, honey. The beat ain't strong enough, honey.
fucker. Rockefeller is the army, better yet the navy. Niggas will kidnap your baby, spit at your ladies. We bring knives to fist fight, kill the drummer. We kill your motherfucking amps with a sledgehammer. Don't let me do it to you, Dunny, cause I overdo it. So you won't confuse it for just rap music.
Oh, see, you running that rap shit. Nigga, he ain't even bopping. This is what I be talking about. He's an implant. He ain't even bopping, son. He ain't even bopping, son. We in this.
It's no fun if we all agree, remember?
You want to do Brooklyn's Finest now?
Yeah. Jay-Z and Big on the same song. Two of my Mount Rushmore.
I was listening to that shit
come
today,
on, man.
too.
And they murdered it. And it's back and forth. And then it's like,
Brooklyn's
it's your
Finest.
prize fight, right? I'm Brooklyn's Finest. Like, I'm coming
said-
out to that. You know?
What?
Nigga said Trump song is Eye of the Tiger.
Yo,
It's your mother's
protect
song.
your neck. Protect your neck would be a fire intro.
yeah.
What?
That was it.
All right, come on, Trav. What you got? Come on, keep it coming. Let's go.
I'm going to the past. Fuck great grandkids. They're not going to know who I am anyway. Fuck them kids. You shitting me?
I mean, neither one of them going to know who you are.
I know. I'm a history head. Y'all know this. Like, I want to go back. I got questions for the back. I ain't got
Damn,
shit
that's a
for the
good
front.
question, Trav. Great ass question. You said you're going to the past.
I'm going to the back. There's some things I need to understand. The front ain't,
I'm going to the future.
that shit ain't, it's not going to do nothing for you because you're not going to be
But
there.
everything we doing right now is laying the path for the future. I want to make sure this shit turned out the way it's supposed to.
So you're going to the future.
Yeah.
I would probably go to the past. There were a few moments that I'd probably want to meddle with.
With your great grands? Me too.
Or anybody. You think I get a lotto number or some shit? Not like, Marty McFly.
No, I feel like I have a better chance of affecting my present by going to the past than going to the future.
That's what I'm saying.
The future does nothing for me.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going to the past. Maybe change some shit around.
Put some niggas on and
Tell
some shit.
treetop, cross-eyed niggas don't get on a dirt bike. Like literally, the day he gets on that dirt bike, I'm like, yo, come here. Let me talk to you for a
I
second.
mean,
Right.
if we could take that info and alter the present, definitely the future. Like I said, I'm laying the groundwork for the future. Like, if you could see what the shit turns out to be, you could be like, all right, that didn't work out.
You
or
don't
this
know.
did
You
work
don't
out.
have a timeline of when things
Right.
went wrong.
Right, that's
You
true.
don't know. You can't.
mean,
you could think that you can
you
alter
could-
some
you
shit,
could-
but you don't know. And
Same
besides
shit
the
with the
fact
past. Like,
no,
you
I could
can't-
tell treetop not to get on the dirt bike.
I can tell niggas to get into stocks and where to put their money.
Shit like
Early.
that. Like, yo,
And
when
affect
you
my
hear the word
future.
Tesla,
Get on
get in there. When you hear Apple,
Get
I
in
know
on
you think
there.
that Commodore 64s and Atari is dope. No, when you hear Apple, put some money in there. You know what I'm saying? Trust me.
I mean, if you're talking about it like that, yeah, of course. You know, whatever.
Man, there's no ancestors 20 years ago. Apple was 20 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah,
when
since it's
when IBM changes to Apple,
Yo.
get on that.
That ass.
Write this
like,
down with a rock. Right?
With a
like,
rock.
yo, remember when
You
you
know how far
thought
back you
you
going.
wrote your will? Rewrite that shit, stamp that shit, and then mail it to the family in a closed letter so that
Yo.
we all have it, so we
Yo.
don't have this situation that I'm
My
in right
great
now.
grandfather had 7 brownstones.
Son, my aunt had 4 of them shits, and they gave it to a crackhead. They gave 4 brownstones to a crackhead
Why?
because that's because that was her living daughter. That was the last one left, but
right,
she
right,
was
right.
written out of the will, but they couldn't find the will, so of course everything goes to your child. She's a fucking crack. Y'all gave a crackhead 4 brownstones. One was completely renovated, and 2 of them shits was 4 stories, and they gave it to a crackhead.
Your aunt.
My cousin.
She said crackhead a lot.
Nah, that bitch was a whole crackhead, bro. And y'all know how like crack is coming back. That bitch was a crackhead in 2000s. Like, you was dedicated to your crack, bitch.
Yeah, she was in the heart of the crack.
Son.
Trav, come on, let's go. Let's start with. Y'all want me to start?
Yeah.
Y'all trying to think of the best words for you.
No, I'm not. I'm being honest.
3 words that best describe you. I would say loving, misunderstood, Ambitious.
So, I'll say laid back, genuine, generous.
Absolutely. All three. No shade whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
I would say caretaker, misunderstood.
Aggressive.
Fuck you.
See?
I'm just misunderstood. A caretaker, misunderstood, and I'm trying to find a word for this. Like,
Cantankerous.
fuck you. Can't tank that. Like, all right, so I'm trying to think of a word that's like not knowledgeable, but I'm always willing to learn something. Like I always want to learn something new, but I can't think of the right word.
There's a word for that.
There
a
is.
word for that.
Huh?
Inquisitive.
Inquisitive, zealous. I'll take both.
Why do you think you're misunderstood?
I've always been misunderstood my whole life. I think that a lot of my thoughts get misconstrued. I think my emotions get misconstrued because even though I am very emotional, I think that a lot of times people perceive my emotions to be more out of control than they actually are. And I
like
think
me
that
saying that you were
aggressive.
Yeah. In the chat.
A lot of things.
No, but that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like the day when you like, was it wait what or whatever, and I'm like, yo, you talking to me like this, and you're like, yo, nigga, I'm in control. I'm just telling you, I'm being direct.
Right.
Okay.
Like I've always had an issue with that, with my emotions being taken to a level in which I don't allow myself to go very often. So it's always like a battle. It's like, you're being this. I'm like, I'm really not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. And then when I get there, it's like, you didn't realize the difference between this and 5 minutes ago?
But just because you have a higher level doesn't mean the level that you're at isn't aggressive for that person that you're talking to.
Maybe for that person, but not for me. Like, I don't like people telling me what I am, how I think, how I feel.
How you're coming off can be, your intention has nothing to do with nothing.
Right. It could be you're coming off this way and then I know how to dial it back. There's a difference between saying you're coming off as, and then I'll be like, oh, my bad. That's not my intention. What I'm really trying to say is this.
That's podcasting.
You think it is?
Yes, my bad. That's not my intention. Is not normally your go-to. You'll say, how? I literally said this. You're projecting.
It depends on the situation. This is situational. Okay. So it depends on the motherfucking situation. But if I make it clear, like, I know how I could be. But if I say from jump, like, yo, I'm not mad, but this is X, Y, and Z.
Can I tell you something?
And it's still perceived as me being mad, then I'm going to get tight.
Can I tell you something? I understand you.
Because you're misunderstood too.
Because I know that just because I'm being a certain way doesn't mean just because I'm coming off this way doesn't mean I really feel that way. That's just sometimes the way I process or the way. But because you're not used to people like me,
yeah,
it comes off that way to you. But you don't even realize I can go someplace completely different.
Son, just let me be regular.
So
like, just
what you're
chill.
saying is, I might be that way right now, but it really don't mean nothing to me. That's just the way I'm being right now. It means nothing. It doesn't change how I feel about you. I'm not upset. I'm not. So when you say that today, I totally understand it because that's exactly how I am. I don't know if you like that or not.
No, it's fine.
Trump.
I accept you for who you are.
Genuine, generous, and
generous.
Genuine, generous, and laid back.
I would like to do like a generous / kind, because generous and kind is two different things, but it's kind of in the same pocket.
Nah, you're very generous and kind. You nigga, we've all had keys to your house. You let niggas stay there. Niggas have taken advantage of your kindness for years and almost think that it's expected. So, and you haven't changed. Doesn't make you change. The only reason you change the keys is because she did. All right, no shot to you. Sorry. Trav, go ahead. Can't hear you, bro. You're on mute. You're not on mute.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I want Tahoe's fearlessness.
Yeah, I am pretty fearless.
I'm not fearless. I'm an overanalyzer. I think about things a little bit too much, and sometimes it makes me not really express things the way that I would like to, because I'm just like, oh, how is this gonna come off? How is this gonna be perceived? Whatever. Like, there are times in my life that I really wish that I can just go the fuck off. Even when I argue, I don't argue. Like, it's very calculated. It's very meticulous. I pick my words very wisely. But sometimes I just want to be like, yo, fuck you, motherfucker, you fucking bitch. I don't give a fuck. I've never done that in my life.
What was your 3 again? I know misunderstood. What was the other 2?
Misunderstood, zealous, inquisitive, and
right.
caregiver.
Okay. If I had to get an attribute from one of y'all, I'd probably go with Tahoe. Also, what was the last one you said? Ambitious. And I would go with ambitious / I'm going to throw something else in there. Energetic. Like, the amount of energy you have on a daily basis, I envy that. You know what I mean? And me just being naturally laid back, I just don't wake up with that kind of energy.
That's crazy, because I was going to take your laid back.
You know what I mean? So that's probably why we compliment each other. Like, it's the balance there in the friendship. But yeah, I definitely envy that. Like, I'm ambitious in my thoughts and my goals. Like, I want the world. I just don't naturally just wake up with that fire to just get up and get everything done. I just don't. You know what I mean? I take drugs to help me with that, honestly. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I appreciate the fearlessness comment, and I understand what you're saying about the energy to go forward, but I also envy the fact that you aren't so energetic that you run headfirst into a wall in every situation. You're able to kind of scope the landscape and approach it in a place that is very, calculated. And you don't, like, say if there's a situation, like, say you wouldn't have turned into Biff, the dude trying to talk to your girl. You would have said, all right, hey, and you would have did something that not so aggressive. You would have thought about it, calculated it, and everything would have been okay, right? Me, I right into the wall, right, and then back up and right back into that's something that I envy. The inquisitive thing about Dodge, I would say, zealous. I like the fact that you're a teacher, and what was the first word you used?
Caregiver.
I like that you, like, I can. So when I said my sons, you are on the other side of my sons. When it comes to person who changed me into the person I am today. So because of the way you take information and apply it and look through 3 dimensions. So remember, I said I'm a multi-dimensional nigga. You're really a multi-dimensional person, but you apply it very well to your presence, to who you are. I don't think that I apply it as well to who I am, because people can still see Tahoe. I have to actually do something for it to, and it has to be purposeful. I have to make a statement about trans people. They say, "Oh, you've changed," or this, that. But you actually are multi-dimensional in your being. Period.
I appreciate that.
And so I envy that. I would love to be able to take that. Go ahead, Trav. Great question. What do you got? Come on.
Aw, that was a good one.
Shout out Sheik.
My spouse. Those bitches ain't got no dick. Shitting me?
Are we talking about DR? Or
it don't matter. I'd rather go with my nigga. Sorry. I'm not fucking y'all.
So
I get drunk, I want to have sex, and I'm just sitting there looking at bitches all day. Like,
cheat.
Right.
No.
You can always cheat.
But y'all don't understand, like, cheating for a woman is such a gamble. Because not everybody's dick is slapping. So I'm gonna take a gamble. It's like 50% chance is lit, 50% chance is not. I'd rather not.
Slapping?
I don't think that all pussy is slapping, but I think that you're 95% guaranteed a nut, and I'm 15% guaranteed a nut by a new nigga. Y'all niggas is going nut most of the time, period. 95% of the time, unless you having like a situation. Us, it's like, what the fuck did I even do that shit for? Like, that was illogical. I could have
y'all be saving us when y'all say shit like that. Because the thought is, to guys, when we think about you cheating, is a nigga is slapping the shit out that pussy.
Nah.
Niggas wilding that pussy,
Not
got you
always.
screaming, moaning,
No.
choking you, throwing you around. You don't know where you at. Your dick is just taking over. And y'all laying there like, why did I fuck this?